It's good to be with you. This is the same indictment that we've seen before. I think a lot of us that follow these things, we're looking at two issues that really are unresolved still, and that is the Supreme Court's Fisher case, which addressed two of the four charges, and the immunity case that the Supreme Court dealt with. Now, some would suggest that Jack Smith is trying to modify his indictment to adjust for the immunity case, but I think he continues to be very aggressive in his charging in this case, and I don't think ultimately that even a real liberal judge like Judge Chutkan in D.C. is going to allow this case to go forward as he's pled it so far.
And Matt, I'm sure you've seen this already, but I want to play a clip of former Trump attorney Ty Cobb reacting to the new indictment on CNN.
This is a very forceful document. It's pared down. Every sentence is, crisply worded. It's a tight narrative. You can't read this and not understand the crimes that Trump actually committed. And as you pointed out, 55 years is exposure. He's not going to get 55 years, but he'll get 6 to 9 on this.
Yeah, I just want to get your reaction on that. Does he get 6 to 9 years on this? What happens next?
No, I don't think this case ultimately sees the light of day. I mean, there's going to be a lot of back and forth with the courts and the appeals court and the Supreme Court. I think the immunity case really didn't answer enough to know in this particular case. They said what the law is, but they didn't say in this particular case how it would be applied. They dropped the interactions with the Department of Justice, and especially Jeff Clark, who was at the time an associate attorney general. And that was about all the revisions they did to this indictment. So this case has a long way to go. Ty Cobb is a known Trump hater, and even though he worked for him at the White House, I think this case is never going to see that type of sentence be issued.
Okay. Matt, I want to talk a little bit about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So Bobby Kennedy's son, and Joe Biden's got a bust of Bobby Kennedy in the Oval Office. So he holds the Kennedy family, particularly Robert Kennedy Sr., former Attorney General. You had his job at one point, in high regard. So here's where we are. On Friday, RFK Jr. endorses Donald Trump. Shocker. I mean, this is a Kennedy endorsing a Trump. His uncle was JFK. Really just a remarkable turn of events, despite what the media is saying. So RFK was on the ballot in something like 30 states. He's going to remain on the ballot in something like 20 states. As part of the negotiation before the endorsement, the Trump team said, listen, we'd love to form this unity government. You could be part of the transition team. Maybe there's a role for you in the administration, but I need you off the ballot in 10 states. Robert Kennedy said, fine. 3 of those states are swing states, super important battleground states: North Carolina, Nevada, Michigan. Jocelyn Benson, who is the Attorney General in Michigan, a month ago was fighting to kick Robert F. Kennedy off the ballot in Michigan, right? And now, since Friday, she is fighting to keep Robert Kennedy on the ballot because she knows that Kennedy being on the ballot hurts Donald Trump and helps Kamala Harris. She's also fighting to kick Cornel West off the ballot because he might take, 1% away from Harris on November the 5th. I thought state attorney generals were supposed to be apolitical. You were attorney general. What do you make of this?
Yeah, this Attorney General of Michigan has to put their partisan hat aside, not care about who is going to win this election. And, quite frankly, Rob, I think it's a little rich to suggest who voters are going to support. It's a very individual decision. And, I don't know if our RFK voters are going to support Trump in Michigan or going to support Biden. At the end of the day, if somebody wants to take their name off the ballot and there's a legal way to do that, just like being on the ballot, I think they should be allowed to do that. And I don't think these partisan games are helpful to, make sure that the American people have full confidence in our elections.
Just about 20 seconds left. So do you think that she wins in this? Is RFK on the ballot or off the ballot on November 5th?
Yeah, hopefully it all depends on what the law is instead of partisan judges and prosecutors like we've seen. And so, if the law in Michigan is such that it allows to remove his name from the ballot upon his request, then they should remove it. That's an easy, no-brainer solution. Mm-hmm.